What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's the beginning of a new week. I hope you're enjoying it. New promises, new adventures. You know, it's a new beginning. So, happy Sunday. I think it's the first Sunday in August. Pretty soon, this terrible thing called summer will be over. Don't hate on me. I'm just saying, you know how I feel about it. But anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying your summer activities. So today we're lucky because we have a awesome guest today. Now, I've known her for a while. We don't go into numbers too much. We don't need to talk about how many years I've known her, but I've known her for a couple of years. You know, this young lady is super intelligent, smart, entrepreneur. She's making super moves. So I'm excited to have her. She's experienced life. She has a lot to offer, and we're gonna chat with her, and you're gonna enjoy it. She has a great personality, and she's a beautiful lady. So you guys are gonna enjoy her. So I'm excited to have her. Anyway, so if people come on, let me know what you guys are doing. It's a Sunday. It's early Sunday. What are you guys doing? You got plans? Barbecues? Mall? What's going on? So chime in and let me know what's good. All right. So here we come. Without further ado, drum roll. See, if I had drums, I would be hitting the drum roll. I had the trumpets out here. Us
Yeah.
introducing Nicole,
Hi,
the one and
everybody.
only entrepreneur, educator, businesswoman.
Oh, goodness.
I can go on for accolades and, big you up all day long, but, I'll let you do that a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clear.
Okay, good. So, hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Hampton. Yes, Regan and I have known each other for many years. We won't say how many years, but we'll just say college. So
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
sums it
Yeah.
up. Um,
We're young bucks.
yes, but yes, we're still young bucks. So yes, I'm an educator. Worked in different school districts for I'm not even going to tell that many years because then you'll really figure out how old I am. Just say many, many years. I have a lot of experience. And
hmm
most
Yeah.
recently, left the school district and kind of started my own educational consulting business. Working with private schools, doing private child study team evaluations and writing IEPs for kids. So that's what I'm currently doing now. I love it. It was something I needed, for our mental health is very important. So when we get burned out, it's a
hmm
plus to always leave and stay in your field, but do something a little bit different because we all know how work is stressful and stressful times. And so that's what I've been doing for the past year. And so far it's all good. It was rough in the beginning as starting a new business, but now it's good. It's the first time in 20 years that I have not worked in the summer. So I'm
Wow.
enjoying being home and kind of just,
hmm
just doing nothing, to be honest. So,
Facts.
yep.
Can we give a huge, big standing ovation shout out to all the educators across the country? I mean,
Clap
listen,
it up, clap it up.
listen, super needed, undervalued, I believe,
Yeah.
because I don't think that they're appreciated as much. I think they're underpaid. I think that considering what they do with our children and the children coming up and how they mold and sculpt them and to become better human beings and so forth, the acknowledgement to me isn't there like it should be. Now we have a
Yeah.
Teachers Day. I know that National
Yeah.
Teachers Day, but
Yeah.
We need more. We
Yeah.
need more. What's good, sis? So I mean, just applaud all the educators and the teachers everywhere.
Yes. And all the
Facts,
support
facts,
staff and
facts.
everybody who makes it all flow for the kids every day. It's a team effort.
Anywhere from the janitors to the
Yes.
teachers
Yep.
to the lunch lady,
Yep.
everybody who's
Everybody.
playing their role.
Yep.
Absolutely, no question. So, Nicole, as you know,
Here we go.
mhm,
Mm,
it is called Who Peed in the Dating Pool. I always give a little background on who peed in the dating pool. So, I talk to people, I chat with them, they talk about the dating scene. They don't say too many promising things about the dating pool. And the one term that was used was, you know what? There's pee in the dating pool. I was
yes.
like, well, damn. My niece said there's coke and crack and cocaine and everything in the dating pool. So
Yeah. All
she
of
said
that.
it's
All
all
of
in
that.
it.
All of
So
that.
I'm like, okay, so why? Why? So again, only how am I going to find out why there's so much pee in the dating pool? The only way I'm going to find out is through dialogue and asking, talking to people, talking to men, women, like, what's going on? What are the problems? What do you see? And after doing a decent amount of interviews, talking to people, I have an idea, and it comes down to a couple of things, not everything. It comes down to communication, lack thereof,
Yeah.
honesty, and an ability to listen. When I say communication, I'm usually talking about it's two forms because you can speak, and then that's the monologue. You need feedback and you need listening. So if you're not listening, then you're not really communicating because you're just
Right.
speaking. And if the other party is not fully engaged or involved or giving you
Mhm.
feedback, then you're not communicating. At least you're not communicating effectively.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get effective communication, so those have been the biggest problems. So for you personally, right now you're single,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're single. So like, what are the difficulties that you've run into, some of the obstacles and so forth?
Um, so I like to communicate. I know I've had to work on there's a difference between just listening and listening to understand. So
Hmm.
in my field of work, I have to listen to a lot of people to understand. But sometimes in relationships, just with people and everybody, you don't always do that. You're listening to respond and not to truly
Right.
understand. So that is something that I've worked on. But other than that, I'm a pretty good communicator. I think that the issues that yeah, everybody like in my age group, like I feel like they are just like into themselves, very like into themselves. They want to travel, they want to do all of these things, but don't realize that, well, it is fun to travel with someone. It is fun to do things with someone. But a lot
Hmm.
of, I guess, people that I've come into contact and they great people, but they just don't want to put the effort into like really getting to know somebody, or um they just want to smash, to be honest. I mean, that's honestly
Hmm.
what I'm finding in my age group. And so, but it's not a conversation. Like, I think, you don't know what I want or what I need. So if it's an honest
Hmm.
conversation, you might be like, look, that's all I'm looking for right now. I might be like,
Hmm.
okay, well, that's all I'm looking for too. So let's do this. But
Hmm.
if you don't give people the opportunity to have a conversation, to say what you're looking for in someone that you meet, then I think that's where the issue is. People just don't want to be open and honest. I guess a lot of times they think as women we can't handle the honesty, where I think most of us and most people appreciate the
Hmm.
honesty. I appreciate the honesty. You telling me straight up, this is what it is, this is all I got, instead of, under false pretenses making it seem like, oh, we about to, like, ride out to the sunset together and make this relationship
Right.
happen. And it's not even,
Absolutely.
that's not even remotely what you have in mind.
Right.
So, and I don't go out a whole lot. So, I mean, that could be part of the issue. I mean, I don't stay in the house, but I don't go out a whole lot. Like, I just don't. And when I do go out, I'm with friends, family, whoever, and you're out having a good time. If you meet somebody, great, but 90% of the time, I feel like everybody's married or taken, to be honest. So I
Right.
don't know where all the single men are hiding. Maybe they're in the house too. I don't know, but
You, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. So there are a lot of single men out there, and a lot of the men that I talk to, some of the difficulties that they've run into is a lot of the same difficulties because they say women don't communicate well either. And sometimes that communication, lack of communication, becomes from just not trusting. Your heart, you're protecting your heart, so you don't want to divulge too much information and let them know who you are. So a lot of that is just protecting themselves. So the communication or lack thereof may stem from that. So, but they have the same issues. Some of the other issues they talk about is financial. They think that some women think that they're like TD Bank and so forth, and that's what they're being used for. So they're like a cash machine, and a lot of guys are afraid of that as well because they don't want to be the local ATM. So I mean, that's some of the.
like,
I mean, this is what I
come
hear.
on. Like, I
I'm
mean,
I'm saying, yeah,
yeah,
this is what they
there's
say.
women like that out there as well as there's
Mhm.
men um out there like that. But I can honestly say for the for my friends and other women that I talk to and come in contact with, we're good on that front. Like, I promise you,
Right.
like any woman who is paying her own mortgage, her own rent, her own bills every month, believe me, we're not looking for an ATM. You know, you want companionship. You want somebody to spend time with, to do fun things with. No one wants to be alone. Like, we're not meant to be alone. But
Exactly.
you know, everybody also, if you have a trusting relationship with somebody, or you're in a relationship to the point with somebody where they need help, and if you can help them, of course you're going to do it. But just to say, I mean, I guess there is that element of chicks out there that think men are ATMs. um
You're
Look,
right. Right. I
look,
mean,
you need to get to the A to access the ATM. You need a PIN number. So if she hitting the right
yeah,
spots for
exactly.
you, whatever that PIN number is,
Right.
and you giving her the cash, hey man, it's equal.
well, I think we all know what that pin number is.
Exactly. So if she hitting that right PIN number for you, then you giving her the money or whatever it is that she needs. Then I mean, I feel like you're both
mm,
getting your needs met. I'm just saying,
right,
but I
right.
mean, I totally get that. There are women out there who just think that, but that's probably who
Mm-hmm.
they are in life in general. They just think that everything should be given to them, or they should get whatever they want by, doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I think
Right.
the large majority of women in my age group who are single, I think we pretty much have it together. You're just looking for somebody to experience things and share life with. Um, and not necessarily leading to marriage. I would love to be married, but it's not something that when I guess you date, people date with purposes. I have girlfriends. One of my girlfriends, she dated with the purpose of getting married, and she's
Okay.
getting married next year. So that was what
Okay.
she was dating for. Um, I often don't know sometimes if I don't. I guess I'm dating with a purpose, just to try to get to know somebody and definitely be friends with that person first.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of see who they are and hang out and get to know their pros and their cons. Like, we all have stuff with us. We're men and women of a certain age, so
Right.
everybody has stuff with them, but you're working through it. Like, happy, healing, and healthy, kind of, sort of.
Right.
That's kind of where I live. Like, I'm happy. I'm healing
Right.
through some things, and I'm healthy. So it's just like, and every day is not sunshine and rainbows. Some days it's
Right.
that's just what it is. But I think that's the thing that we have to people have to, like, we're human, we're emotional beings, we're human. Life
Mm-hmm.
happens, inside
Right.
of your own personal life. There's things going on, and then worldwide there's a lot going on. Look, there's COVID, there's
Right.
monkeypox. Brittany Griner's in
Absolutely. Don't get
jail
that.
for 9.5 years in Russia. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, people are still getting shot. The list goes on and on. But you try not to, like, internalize all of that so much, because it's depressing, of course. But just to
Right.
have somebody there to listen, offer advice, offer support, or just be. Sometimes it's nice to just be with somebody and you're quiet, but you're there.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. You're sitting on the couch together. You watching TV, or you're not. You're just quiet. It doesn't always have to be spending money, running and ripping in the streets. So
Right.
that.
Say, gentlemen, I just want to let you know. Say, hopefully the gentlemen just listen to what you just said. See, sometimes a lot of women, we talk about women. We're not talking about kids and girls or whatever. We're talking about grown women. What they want a lot of times is a man to be a good person, to be a companion, to be a friend, to be someone they can confide with. Um, I think the misconception is that women are looking for much more than that. And they're looking for someone to be there
Mhm.
a lot of times, And especially once you get to a certain age where the nonsense is beyond you, you're past that.
Right.
So you just want a real person to be real with you and to build with.
Yep.
And again, the misconception is that women are scheming and so forth. And I'm sure
Yeah.
trust me, there are women who do that. But a lot of times they make themselves it's so transparent from the beginning, because you can see how they move. They move in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And you got to trust your intuition. And when you see
Yeah.
a good woman, you got to know, like, listen, this is somebody I need to invest in. This is somebody I need to treat with care, and understand that this is precious cargo right here. And I think it'll be reciprocated.
I
That's what I
definitely.
believe.
That like
So
that's so, like, by nature I'm a nurturer, I'm a giver, I'm a
mhm,
nurturer. You can pretty much ask anybody who knows me. But that's the thing, like, you take care of each other, when you're in a healthy relationship, whether it's the
right,
friendship stage or whatever, like,
mhm,
if your needs are being met, when a woman or a man, if your needs are being met, you will do more, you will open up, you will be more transparent, you will do all of those things because you've developed that, like, trust with somebody. You're getting to know each other. Therefore, it should be a reciprocated situation. It shouldn't nothing should ever no relationship should ever be just one-sided, because then then only one person is benefiting from that. A relationship is between two people, and it should be beneficial for both people in whatever way that works for you and whatever you need. So yeah, a lot of times it's like, when you're being well taken care of, you reciprocate and you do whatever needs to be done because you want both parties to be happy. And I think a lot of times, some people are in relationships just to see what they can get. But there's a lot of people out here who have a lot to offer, and
mhm.
want to be able to offer that to someone. But people coming with preconceived notions about, oh, women out here, whatever, then, like, okay, so then you stay with that, and I'm gonna go over here, because you're not gonna sit here and tell me, oh, well, you probably this, you probably that. No, you don't know that, because you don't know me.
Right. And a lot of times you need to have these conversations. Like when you go into and you meet someone, that initial meeting, you need to have the conversations with them. And through those conversations, you're going to probably find out a lot about them. And you're going to find out if they're upfront. If you're having an honest conversation with this individual, you're going to learn a lot about them, and you're going to learn a lot of their hurts and their pains and so forth. And this may not happen in one day or one conversation, but if, over time, you need to start listening, and then you process that information, and then you don't process it to use it against them. You process them to find out how you can go forward with this, and ask follow-up questions like, okay, so how did you deal with this, or are you dealing with it? Have you resolved this issue? And like, you may talk about your issues. Well, I've had this issue too, and then you can build some type of bond because, like, listen, I've dealt with this in the past, and this is how I dealt with it, and so forth. And I think that's the best part of beginning that relationship, and that's how your friendship is built.
Right.
So you establish building that friendship, and then the friendship may grow to something else, and it may not never grow to a romantic relationship.
Right.
It may just stay there, but at least you have a friend.
Right.
So it's not a failed process,
Right.
because all right, you didn't get that romantic individual or a future husband or lover or whatever, but you got a friend, and friends are always good, especially someone you can trust.
Right.
So I don't think people should be afraid of the process.
Right.
They'll be afraid because sometimes, even if nothing works out, you tried, and hell, you're sharpening your skills. At the very
Yeah.
least, you
Right.
practice it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be an expert at the end of the day. Like, listen, I'm a professional. I know how to do this.
Right.
Next.
Right. Yes. For the next, right. And that's really, I mean, when you've grown and when you're grown and you've grown through some things, you start to realize, like, every relationship doesn't have to be like a negative, have a negative ending. Sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes timing is not right. It's a lot of reasons why I guess relationships don't work. But if you built the friendship from the beginning, at least you can walk away. And then if it comes to a time where you have to have that conversation that, well, this is not really going to go in that way, at least you should be able to have a civil conversation about it and say, you know what, well, we're not gonna move forward to be a couple, but you my people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. You may have somebody for them. You may
right?
like, yo, you don't work
Yes,
for
you
me,
right.
but I know somebody that you'll be perfect for.
That too.
And not let your ego get in the
Right.
way, because
Yep.
that ego is ego's tough, man. Egos get in the way of a lot of good things, and they cause a lot of problems at the same
Well, yes, egos do cause a lot of problems, which is a great
time.
segue into the interview that you did the other day with our.
Oh, oh
Yes,
yeah,
that
Yo,
ego
shout
was
out to
a lot.
Vigilante. What's good, man? Shout out, son. Yeah, that was and I talked to him. As you saw, I told him, I said, listen, sir, you're gonna get a lot of feedback from that particular interview, good, bad, or indifferent, and
Right.
especially from the ladies and the women. And my sister, she's on the live right now. She called me right afterwards. She was like, that
Right.
was interesting,
Right.
So I mean, the whole polyamorous thing,
Yeah.
it's interesting, it's not for me. That's not, but it was very interesting to listen to perspectives. And again, and I think he was aware that I didn't agree with everything, but that's okay. I don't have to agree with them. But
Right.
it was
Interesting.
yeah, interesting. What did you think about it? So what are your thoughts?
So, like I agreed with what he said, like you should be friends with someone first, to build that
Hmm.
relationship. So I agreed with that. Um but I did not, the polyamorous thing, like I said, I'm never going to say never, but not right now.
Hmm.
That's not, something that
Right.
I'm interested in right now. And rather that's me being apart with, two other people, or me being with, picking, you coming into a relationship already established, or me doing that with, that's just too many people at one time for me. but,
Exactly.
but
All right.
with him, he was very arrogant. Um, lacked empathy when he was saying, I don't give a damn about what she went through, trauma, trauma, trauma. Like, that's not my issue. When you're ready to deal with me, you come over here. He was very arrogant in that sense, because how are you developing a relationship with somebody if you don't get to know them and what things they've been through without going into detail about everything you've been through? You know, that makes people, there are experiences that we've gone through, positive or negative, build or are very much a part of who we are. So, you know, you have to get to know those things about people. And if somebody's been through a traumatic situation, you definitely don't want to like set them off, you know, or do something. So I
Right.
thought he lacked empathy. And I thought he was a tad bit misogynistic. Not a tad bit, a whole lot of misogynistic. Yeah. He just was like, you know, when I'm sitting in my Lamborghini or sitting in my mansion or whatever, and I look over at her, she should know to shut up, sir. Who? What? Like, first of all, I don't give a damn what you're sitting in. You could be sitting in a Pinto. If you're being disrespectful, you're not,
Mm,
you know, you're being rude, or you're just talking out of line as a person. If it's
mm,
disrespectful, I'm going to let you know. I may not let you know in front of whoever you're talking to, but it's going to be a
mm,
conversation that we're going to have the second we're by ourselves. Like, I won't embarrass you in front of your colleagues, friends, whomever, but it will be a
mm,
conversation we will have later. And you definitely won't be telling me to shut up. Like, that's just not even how you talk to somebody who you are supposed to be building a relationship with. And he kind of leads with his money, I felt like, because he feels like he's so well off that women are expendable. So, you know, oh, you over there, what you won't do, oh, this one will do. And so,
mm,
no, like, no, sir. Like, and I also felt like he was short. I also felt he had a little Napoleon complex. I'm just gonna say that, you know, I also felt maybe he had a little bit of Napoleon complex. He was very arrogant. And while I will admit I do like a little bit of arrogance in a man, I do. I like it a little bit. That was
mm.
too much for me. And it was just his whole delivery. He just didn't seem like somebody that I would want to get to know. So he's not for me. Great. There's a million people out here not for me. I'm only looking for one. So,
For,
yeah,
there's
so
one, there's one
yeah, just
person.
one, just one. So I mean, that's kind of like how, you know, that's kind of just how I viewed him. Like I said, there were a couple of things that he did say that I did agree with, and I was sitting there like, okay, I could go with that. But there were way more things that he said, and just his demeanor and how he was talking, that I was just like, yeah, no. So I mean, if it works for him, great. You like it, I love it. But you know, the lack of empathy, that's kind of like a character flaw to me. That's kind of something that says more about who you are as a person. um you know, when you lack empathy for people.
Right.
Because, you know, obviously you've gone through something. I mean, for him to be the way he is, he's experienced something, and maybe he thinks he's healed from it, but he's not. Because if you don't care about what somebody else went through and you're trying to get
Hmm.
to know them, then what's the point? And if you're poly, that means you have two people that you're trying to get to know, and you don't really care anything that they've been through. Like, you want somebody to come to you perfect, almost. It doesn't perfect doesn't exist, you know. So
Let me ask you, have you ever come across anybody who approached you on the poly lifestyle or mentioned the poly or have run that past you to see if you were interested in it?
no,
No.
the only thing remotely close to that was
Mm.
when I was in a relationship many moons ago. Um,
Oh.
was sitting there
Mm-hmm.
talking to like a girl, a woman, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend and I were sitting there talking, you know, like he realized that she was trying to like set up a, you know, threesome. She was kind of like, and I was just like,
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah. Oh, I had to tell her like, nah, sis, we good. Like, Yeah, we're not
Oh,
interested in that. Like, so that's
wow.
the only thing. That's remotely the only thing I think close to it. But no, have never been approached or anybody else said, oh, would you like to be part of our family?
Yeah, a little this thing of ours.
Of this thing we got going on, we kind of do,
Yeah,
we kind of do everything together, all three of us. Nah, I'm good, sis. I'm good. Yeah,
right.
I'm not, like
You
I
know,
said, I'm not saying never, but I'm
right.
good with like I said, one at a time.
Right, and those are complicated enough. Just one. I'm like,
Right.
sheesh. There's been a lot of gray hairs due to just one individual.
Okay, you can't see
Two,
all
I
my gray
mean,
hairs. You can't see them, but believe me, they are there. They are there. So I would probably with two other people to worry about
Mm,
and to get to
right.
know at the same time. I feel like the next time you see me, you'd be like, what happened? I'm all gray because
Oh yeah,
it's a
just have
lot.
a gray nose. They just have having gray ear hair. Like
Exactly.
how did I get a gray ear hair?
Yeah, like come on. But I mean, it works for a lot of people.
Right,
It does
right.
work for a lot of people. So, um, Michael Baisden, he leads a polyamorous lifestyle. That is
Oh,
who he is. So he has this group on Facebook called the Transparency Tribe. So I was interested because I keep hearing about it. So I wanted to kind of like learn and get into and see what people do. It's a really cool group. Everybody is like super cool.
hmm,
But they talk about some like really like issues, just not even dealing with just being poly, just relationship wise. And he always posts like a question of the day to kind of
right.
see where people's mindset are. Um,
Mm.
but apparently there are a lot of us that are poly. It's a whole movement,
Oh yeah.
apparently.
Hell, Will Smith's kid is Polly. Jada, what's her name? No, what was it? I forget the girl's
Oh,
name.
the daughter. Yeah, her
Yeah,
name. I can't even think of it right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, is
Whipping
she?
her hair back and forth. Yeah, she,
Okay.
I, I don't know. I mean, listen, I just started really hearing about that, at least in that expressed in that terminology
Right.
recently within the past few years,
Yeah.
maybe past 3 years or
Yeah.
whatever. I've heard, and I was like, okay. And then I talked and, talked to my friends, and none of them are probably, but just talk to people and, listen to people discuss it. And I'm like, I'm not even sure exactly what it is exactly. So that's when I asked him because he mentioned that he, in another interview on People X. Shout out to Ecstasy, follow Ecstasy on Instagram. But and I watched the interview and I was listening, and I was like, hmm. So then when he came on the show, I was like, listen, we're gonna have to tap into that because obviously you're professional with this whole thing. So we're gonna discuss this, whatever
Right.
is, it's supposed to, whatever the rules, the parameters within
Yeah.
that whole lifestyle. So I was like, okay, but personally, I mean, I'm curious, and I don't know. Like, do they think that there's pee in the dating pool once
No,
they
I
get
think
into that
I actually
lifestyle?
I actually
Right?
like
Did
just from what I see on the page, um,
right?
I don't think so because I think like a lot from what I read and see, like a lot of them live together. A lot of them, I mean, you're clear about what is going on. So I mean, I think the biggest thing with it is what this is. Like, what
Mm,
this is. That you're in a poly relationship. So there's a man and two women, or how a woman and two men, or however, whatever the setup is. So that.
right,
So I mean,
right.
I guess there's like, I don't know, like I always like have questions like, okay, so am I Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday? And you're like Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday? Like, I don't know. Like, do you have set days or do you do
You get the
everything
weekends off.
together?
Somebody you get the weekends off,
Right.
and
Like
you.
I don't know. Like like is it set days, or are you just like how you would always be with your like spouse or your partner?
Right.
Or is it just the three of you always together every time you go out and do something? So, those are like the questions and he didn't really go into more detail. He didn't really explain. Like I was looking for him also to explain a little bit more about like how does that happen? Like are you
Mm,
together all the time, or is there like, like, oh, I'm going out with Marie so you want to come? Or
yeah.
is it like,
Oh yeah.
no, it's Tuesday, so
Right.
Tuesday
Right.
is your
Right.
day.
Right.
Like I said, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday are those my days, and then the other 3 days, like you're with the other person. So I mean, I don't know. So it's a lot. Like,
I think that maybe just write out a contract and just say, okay, these are the parameters, and
yeah,
any addendum that you need to make, you just make that.
right. Like,
I
cause
don't know how to fly. I don't
right,
know.
cause otherwise,
Right.
I don't. Like that's what I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like, but there are like from what I see on the page, there are people that like they live together. So I guess you
Mm.
would say that they do everything together, but like I'm like, okay, so is it like one big master suite, or it's like you have like a California king? Like what is going
I,
on? Like, what exactly, and I guess it's whatever works for
right. Right. Right.
them.
They rate the rules and that work for them. Listen.
You like it, I love it. I'm not knocking it. God knows
So
that's
they
the
must.
last thing that I'm doing. I just don't know how it all works.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna see if I can get maybe one or two other people on the show to further elaborate who lived that lifestyle, to further elaborate, to explain, because they may believe that there's a ton of chlorine in their dating pool. They have a saltwater pool. No.
Right. Right.
They're like, our pool is fine, So I mean, I don't know, but but for the most part, I would say the majority of us, we live, we work in the realms of the traditional relationship, and the traditional relationship is something that most of us deal with,
Right.
and we're just trying. Honestly, I talk to people and I'm like, sometimes, like, how willing are you to go outside of your comfort zone in dating? You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily going poly, but how willing. I mean, so I talk about, are you willing to, women, I say, are you willing to date a shorter man? Are you willing to date a man outside your race? Are you willing to date long distance? Are, those type of things that, are not necessarily traditional, well, I'm not saying traditional, but within your norm, but are you willing to do that? And the the race thing, um, I find that there are more black women who are at least willing to consider dating outside their race than there were before, because a lot of black women, they, for the most part, they stay with their black men, but I think they're looking at it and they're seeing so many, and I think the numbers are skewed when they say so many black men dating outside their race. I think if you look at the entertainment or athletic world, you
Mm.
may see that, but in everyday life, in my community, I really see like people with like, I see black people, Latino people, Latino people, Asian people for the most part, and that's how I see on average. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that the perception is that black men are they're choosing white women and so forth, and they're like, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, so to speak, and they're going out. And I don't know too many people personally who have taken that, but I mean, I see it. People they present that via social media or what have you, that they're going to take a shot, and I don't begrudge them. The only thing I say is this: if you're going to date someone, especially with race, Date them because you like their true, authentic self.
Right.
Don't date them because you think you want to have a kid with straight hair. Don't date, don't date them because you want lighter kids.
Right.
Don't date them because date them because you love that person.
Right.
Date them for real
Right.
reasons, because you have a bond with one
Right.
another and you love that person. And love has no color or
Right.
whatever in my eyes. So you love who you love. And that's how I see it. Just date them for real reasons,
Yeah.
not because you're trying to make an experiment, so to speak. And then there's a lot of white men who look at black women as exotic. Okay, sure, all right, exotic, but black women are more than that.
Right.
They're more than just
Yeah.
exotic. They have experiences, they have culture, they have trauma, they have pain. You have to embrace all
All
of
of
that.
it.
And if that white man is willing to come into the culture and embrace that, more power to him, and I can embrace him. But you have to embrace everything.
Yeah.
You can't embrace the idea of this woman being a little exotic, so to speak. And that's the word. And then when I hear that word,
You're like, yeah,
that
okay.
rings bells with me. I'm like, I don't like to hear that word, exotic. You love her because you love her.
Her. Right. Right.
You love this person, this human being, whatever color she would be. You love her for who she is. And that's the and in regards to interrelations, I don't have a problem with them as long as you love them or with them for their true authentic self. Then
Right.
whatever, you date who you date.
Yes.
So I mean, but this idea that women like, oh well, black men are this. Well, anything black men are, white men are. We went to Willie P together. So we were around a lot of white guys because it was mostly a predominantly white college,
Yep.
and we were. So I got to listen to how they think and how they view, and there's no different than
Right.
anybody else.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I found that some of the white gentlemen were actually harsher towards their women, and especially appearance. They were very
Yeah.
harsh on, and that has changed. That was many years ago,
Right.
but their perception has changed. But they were harsh. So I'm like, this idea that there's no difference. People are people, and if you're looking outside of race because you expect someone to be different or something else,
Yeah.
I mean, that's silly.
Yeah. I mean, the race thing to me, I'm good. I'm not interested in dating outside of my race. And to be honest, where I grew up in Jersey was down by the shore area.
Hmm.
Went to school with mostly predominantly white people. Was the only black child in my class all the way to 8th grade.
Wow.
Grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. There was a like how Willie P. It was a predominantly white town, but the black people we had are so grew up with
Hmm.
them, but always had went to a black church. We had our own community. There were a lot of black families, but it was a predominantly white town. So like I always tell people, I know I grew up around them, and never felt the need to date them then. So, like I said, if I meet somebody and he's cool, it's just an extra layer of things that for me would have to be in place in order for me to do that. So never say never, because you never say never, because when you say that, then that's when it happens, right? So you
And
never
then
say
everybody says,
never,
aha.
but I'm gonna still go with not right now. That's my thing. Never say never, but not right now. In terms of height and things like that, I mean, do I want to date somebody 5 foot tall? I'm 5'9". No, but he was shorter than me, but he was a great person. I mean, that would be shallow of me, I think, to be like, yeah, no, I'm good. You're like, like you're short. Like, go sit down somewhere. Like, you can't, like that would be you. I would at least give him the opportunity to let me be able to tell him, like, sir, go have a seat. Like, I'm not dealing with
Oh,
you.
oh,
Not because you're short. It would be this,
all
this,
right.
and this. And then on top of that, you're short. That's how it would be. You know, it
Right.
wouldn't be out the
Okay.
door coming out like, oh, well, you're short, so I'm not even going to talk to
Right.
you. You
Right.
know, and I mean, as we get older too, there's also, you know, like your list of your checklist of what you want in somebody not necessarily gets less, but you've been through some experiences, you're more mature, you should know yourself a little bit better now, so you know you're willing to say, well, you know, I needed that at 30, but at 40 I don't.
Right.
40,
Right. Right. So let me ask.
I don't
So let me
necessarily need
ask
that.
you.
Right, I don't necessarily, you know, need that. I think the basics, like we always say, the basic things for life are what? Food, shelter, and
Yeah,
clothing.
shelter,
So I think you
clothing.
would
Right.
want somebody to be able to just like take care of themselves, be employed, have their
Mm-hmm.
own place, and
Right.
you know, be financially stable for what, you know, being able to take care of themselves and whatever they need to
Mm-hmm.
do.
All right.
And then, you know, all the extra stuff is a plus. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, this dating thing is it takes a lot of time and effort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're putting yourself out there, constantly putting yourself out there. But you know, do I enjoy it in this age group that I'm in now? Absolutely not. I would rather
Mm-hmm.
not. I'd rather not, to be
Right.
honest. I'd rather
Right.
just sit in my house and hope that the UPS guy is cute and is like, hey, want to go out for a drink? I sure do. Give me my package and let's go. But
Right.
that's not
Right.
realistic. So you have to
Right.
put
Right.
yourself out there. And so, yeah, I mean, am I focused on it right now? No. I have too many
Okay.
other things to do. But if somebody comes
Mm-hmm.
along or, you know, whatever, then, you know, great. You don't want to, I don't want to be, and I don't like cats, but I'm going to say this anyway. Like, I don't want to be the cat lady, the old lady that lives with like 50 cats. Like, I'm too fly for that. Like, come
Right.
on now. Like,
Right. Right.
somebody out here
Exactly.
needs to get all of this. Okay. Somebody. Okay. I don't know who that somebody is, but somebody, this is too much to just be sitting in the house. And I will not have cats or dogs. I have
Yeah.
fish.
Oh,
That's the
dog.
only thing I have is fish,
Okay.
and I'm good with the
A
fish. We
fish.
are
A fish.
good. You know, I can go on vacation. I don't have to get nobody to babysit them and all of that stuff. So yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm optimistic in the way that I just want to hang out, really. I mean, I
Let
just
me
want to
ask you
hang
a
out.
question. Is there a an age limit, like a range? Well, how low would you go as far as age? How would you go? How low can you go?
How low would you go? So it's funny that you asked me that, because the other day I was
Right,
telling
right.
one of my girlfriends, like, I don't know. I might do a little bit younger because I feel like the men in my age group are like, get it together. Like, they don't have that like energy. And I'm not saying I got a whole ball of energy, but I'm saying like
Hmm.
I mean I will go maybe 10 years younger. And
Okay.
in terms of older, you know, I'm kicking 50 in, so 50
Yeah.
coming.
Mm,
It's you know, it's
yeah.
right
Oh
there
well.
around the corner. It's around the
I'm there with
corner.
you.
Yes.
Right there with you.
You know, it's around the corner for me. I got a couple
Hmm.
of, you know, uh, do the math, people. I got a couple of
Right, right,
years before I kick in for 50. But so I think I'm gonna stop it at 55.
55.
Yeah, like
Okay.
my range. That's a range, right? So like
Right, right.
late 30s, closer to 40 to 55, I would say. You know, that's, yeah, because I know this probably sounds not nice, but I'm gonna say it. So I'm not taking care of anybody. I don't
Right,
want
right.
like, you got health problems, this and that. Like, if you gonna be on the older end of my range, I'm gonna have to know, like, if you got high blood pressure, it's managed. If you got diabetes, it's managed. Whatever it is, it has to be
Hmm.
managed. I don't want you to come and you like looking like you all good, and then 3 months in, you like, oh, I gotta have a triple heart bypass or some nonsense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Regan, for real. Like, I'm not trying to play like Nurse Betty.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I'm not doing that.
You gotta be, hey, they looking for a living nurse.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to be a CNA.
A
Like,
home health
I'm not
aide or
trying to
somebody.
be
Yeah.
right. I'm not trying to be your living nurse. I'm not trying to be your CNA. Shout out to all the CNAs, because what y'all do is
Right, right. Shout
amazing.
out to all the
Okay,
CNAs. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
but they get paid for that. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing that. Like, I'm not gonna meet you to be like, oh, we doing this and doing that, and then it's like, oh, we can't go nowhere because he got an oxygen tank and it can. No, sir, no. Like, once again, absolutely
Okay.
not. Now I'm saying, if we've been together for a minute and you
Mm-hmm.
get sick, that's different. But right out the
Right, right, right.
door, nah. So if
Right,
and I
right.
guess I shouldn't even say that about the older age, because we all, health issues. I just feel
Mm-hmm. Right.
like, yeah. So, that is a large range. If I was going to date younger, I would go at least like, 10 years younger. But I'm here to tell you, fellas, the 10 years younger, I'm not having any children. Not doing it. Not doing it. That's not the
Okay.
purpose of the dating. No, 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 no. I'm not trying to
Right.
be the sexy mama going to my kindergarten child's parent conference and they're like, are you grandma or mom? No,
Yeah,
not that.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm not
Right,
dating
right,
10
right.
years younger for the purposes of children. Nope.
Not happening, fellas.
Ship
Not
has
happening.
sailed. That ship has
Yeah.
sailed. It's out in the
So,
water. It's hanging out there. It's not coming back to shore. So just so you know.
who do you find? Who do approaches you more, the older fellas or the younger ones?
Younger.
Younger.
And I'm not even talking about like my age range younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like younger, 25-year-old, 26-year-old. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, sweetie, I'm old enough to be your mom.
Yeah, and then, you know what? I think they know that. I think that's
They
what
do.
these younger, the younger generation, they're a different animal. Yeah,
Yes,
there's a they're aggressive
they
as
are.
whatever.
They are.
They are aggressive as they want to
And they
be.
don't care.
So
They don't
no, they
care. Like,
don't.
if I'd be like, all right, let's go out, they would be like, all right. No, I'm sorry, honey. No. Because your mom and I are probably the same age.
Right, and it's funny because when I was 25 years old, I never even thought about trying to approach a 48-year-old or 45 or
Right.
but the thing, what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. Tell you what it is. Because the 45-year-old now is not the same 45-year-old
We talked
it
about
was 20 some years ago.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, like my mama was a mama. You know what I'm saying? My
Yes.
mama looked like a mama. My mama dressed like a mama. My
Right.
mama, she
Right. Yes.
she was a mama. So that's what she looked like.
Yes.
So she wasn't trying to be all glam and all that.
Right.
That's just my mama just trying to. So I think nowadays this new 40 something or even 50 something, they
Yes.
glammed out,
What?
they
We
fresh,
are.
they stylish or whatever. So I
Yes.
think that's why these 20 something year olds are eyeing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but like in my age, I was like, that's so and so mama. I
Right.
didn't have a friend that who had a MILF mom.
Right.
None of all our moms are mom,
Right.
which is
But
good.
that's it.
We all had moms,
We
you
did. We
know.
definitely had. We definitely had moms, and I think too, like, um, yeah, like, I see a lot of like memes and stuff that people put on, social media, and they're like, I think it's that one meme where it's like a guy talking, and he's like, man, these sisters born in the 70s, they
Oh yeah,
killing
yeah, yeah.
y'all millennials.
Right, right,
Like,
right, right,
they
right, right, right,
looking,
right,
they
right.
still gotta, keeping it together, doing their
Mm,
thing, whatever, whatever.
mm.
And I mean, it is true. I can honestly say, like, for my friends and my age group, like, we maintaining, we keeping it together. We trying to,
If
keep up
if we
that.
could avoid
Yeah.
if we avoided crack during that era, we're probably pretty good
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
can avoid the crack. Yeah,
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 I
yeah,
think
yeah,
the
yeah,
most we did was,
yeah.
well, at Willie P. I feel like the most everybody probably did was drink. What else is new?
Yeah.
And smoke weed,
Right,
which,
right, right,
whatever. Like that
right,
ain't killing
right,
nobody. So I
right, right,
feel
right.
like we didn't do like the hard stuff. So I think we still have maintained our our youth, and you try to keep it together just for a variety of reasons. But yeah, I can see where I guess the 20-year-olds, I guess that's why they feel like they can approach us, because they kind of not sure though. They're like, well, you might be, I
Yeah,
don't know,
but here's the thing. Here's the flip side. These 40-something-year-old and 50-year-olds, they taking it. They taking those opportunities, and they like, all right, we listen. You here? All right, young buck. You
Listen,
know.
I don't know. Like yesterday I was talking to one of my girlfriends too, and she was like, look, she said the flip side of dating somebody who is that young is that you might be hooked, okay, on that young buck, and then it becomes an issue. So I said, what do you mean, like looking for him outside in the daylight with a flashlight situation?
Mm.
She's like,
Hey,
yeah,
is
something
is
like
she
that.
speaking from is she speaking from experience, or is she saying
Um,
that from like,
no, not from experience. I think just
okay,
from just like always just playing the devil's advocate. Well, that could be
okay,
good
okay,
in
okay.
this way, but then listen, sis, you out here in these streets chasing after a 25-year-old, like how crazy would you look? So it was just
Funny,
like, yeah, it's all fun and games till it's not,
hilarious.
like it's all
Yeah, I
fun and
know,
games till
right?
it's not. So I think
Like,
that's why she was kind of saying it like that. So I was just like, wow, yeah, that would be a little bit like, you got this cougar. She was like, no, not the cougar. I was like, yes, sis, the cougar. That's what we would be, cougars.
yeah, the cougar, but the cougars are the aggressive ones. They like, "Rawr,"
Yeah.
when I was queer, I was how old was I? I may have been 19. I don't know if I was 20, 19 to 20. And it was this woman in my building, and she was 29 years old. And for whatever reason, she really was pursuing me.
Mm.
Nothing ever happened or anything, but she was pursuing. And for the life of me, I mean, she looked like a dancer, like whatever type of dancer, stripper dancer, professional dancer, whatever. She looked like it. And I couldn't for the life of me, like, what would she have? Why would she have any interest in me? I had no idea. I mean, I have no idea. But she was like pursuing hard. This is a grown woman. 19, everybody grown woman.
Right, everybody's grown because yeah, you like, yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't understand.
it happens,
You know.
and I mean, I'm sure there are couples, out here who, there
Right.
there's an age difference, a gap like that, and they're good.
All right.
So I guess it all
We
depends on what you're looking for.
absolutely. We got 2 minutes left on our little thing. 10, that's about 2 minutes change. So, is there anything that you want to wrap up with? Anything you want to get off your chest? Anything, whatever. Let them know how to follow you too. How the heck can they follow you?
Okay,
It's your
so
handle.
on Instagram I am Empress Asada. So it's Empress and then what do you call it? Yeah, Empress Asada. That's me on actually that's me on Instagram and I think Facebook too.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's
All
my
right.
handle. So yeah. So I mean, no, this was really good. This was like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're living life, and you're just trying to find the top to your pot, as one of my girlfriends says. Everybody has their lid to their pie, and like I said,
Mm-hmm. Facts.
it's only one at this particular time, unless you want to be polyamorous, then it's two.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what kind of pot
yeah.
that is. Maybe a double
Yeah,
boiler.
two-lidded
I
pot.
don't
I
know.
don't know. That's
I
a
don't know.
pressure cooker.
A double boiler. I don't know if you poly, whatever. But that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, you know, you just gotta live life and just you know, hopefully find your pot, your lid to your pot, and other than that, keep it moving. Life goes on. Enjoy life regardless. But of course, it's always
And
more fun to enjoy life with someone. So I guess
awesome.
I'll leave it at that,
That
because that's kind of like,
awesome.
yeah, that's it.
And I appreciate you for coming through. It was fun. It
Yeah.
was awesome. Great time. And we'll definitely have you again if you're willing to come. And
Yeah.
this was awesome.
Yeah.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
and thank you.
You're welcome.